play a game.
So, people, we're going to be talking about the beauty of horror and I guess the need that it satisfies. Now, we all love a classic slasher, whether you're talking about Friday the 13th, whether you're talking about Nightmare on Elm Street, or basically a personal favourite of my slasher is the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Whatever you're talking about, it satisfies a need. I mean, as you can see in the background there, one of the best horror TV shows that will satisfy all of your gory needs is Hannibal. It is fantastically disgusting, but its intelligence of Hannibal is like beautiful, and that's something that you've just got to watch it if you want to satisfy a certain need. But my kind of horror journey, I used to fucking hate horrors, absolutely hate them growing up. And then I discovered slashers and the gore side of horror because I'm a heavy believer that the paranormal is real. Now, I know I did an Ouija video a couple of videos back and it didn't really work. And I do plan to do it again, but hopefully in a better location so that I can trigger something. But I still kind of believing it. And that side of horror scares the living daylights out of me. Like, one of my biggest things is I hate the fucking doll Annabelle. And I do plan to watch, like, the Conjuring, I guess, like, franchise, as it were. But kind of the horror that I love is when someone's head just comes clean off. Let me play, like, a kill montage of exactly what I mean. That serves is pure satisfaction. You can imagine the person that you hate the most, or you've had a shit day at work, and you can just imagine their head just come clean off. Oh, it satisfies such a beautiful need because I would never hurt anyone on that level. I would never want to put anyone through fear. But when I watch a film, it does that need for me. And I think that's really, really important. And I guess that doesn't scare me. The slashes don't scare me. It just satisfies a need of just watching a body just crumble. You know, that's kind of the need that satisfies me. Whereas when I watch the paranormal stuff, which is the more scarier side of horror, in my opinion, that stuff is pretty fucking real. In my like, I think that is frightening. That is a possibility, and some people have proved that it does exist, and some people have proved that it hasn't. So it's kind of like a 50-50, I guess. I think most people lean towards the fact that it's not real. But I believe that elements are and elements aren't. I think in the films it's overly exaggerated. Um, but kind of the best horrors that I've watched are The Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Funny Games, which is like home invasion horror, which is like a whole subcategory of horror in itself. And Funny Games, it's just a fantastic, realistic horror that I'd recommend. I'd recommend the American version, because I just think it's. I mean, I prefer the original, but I think my first time watching it was the American version. Um, I'd then probably go with the first Conjuring, scared the living daylights out of me. And one of the scariest films that I've ever watched is the following: Sinister scared the living shit out of me. I know Ethan Hawke's tumbling around like an old fart in that house, but the actual thought of it scares the living shit out of me. And another favourite, which also scared me in places, it wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, was Sinister, the first one. I thoroughly enjoyed that as a horror. There's probably loads that are missing. Nightmare on Elm Street, as I mentioned before, is a fantastic slasher. Kind of my least favorite horrors, believe it or not, are kind of the Scream ones. I like kind of the universe that it's built itself in, and the fact that it takes the piss out of the final girl and things. But I just struggle to connect with anything, and I don't. And for me, in horror, costume design and things like that are really, really big. And the horrors that I've mentioned, their costume designs are really, really frightening. And I think the best costume design that I've ever seen, or I guess horror thing, is Jigsaw's Saw puppet. I think is one of the coolest and creative things that I've seen. I think it's absolutely fucking awesome. I may hate dolls, but I do love two dolls. That Jigsaw one and Chucky. I mean, they're so cool, but such little scary shits, especially Chucky. I like the first Chucky film. The new Chucky stuff that they've released is fucking dog wank. Definitely don't avoid that. But that's kind of the beauty of horror. And I just wanted to come on here and basically talk about it. And I want to find out what your favorite type of horror is and what your favorite horror films are, I guess. But yeah, if you want to see more content on horror or where we experiment with weird shit to do with horror, then just let me know, I guess. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye for now.